I've always been a history buff, and I liked hunting, fishing, trapping. I loved history. And I found an arrowhead up in Nankin one day when I was out deer hunting, and I literally stopped to tie my bootlace. And there was an arrowhead sitting on the ground. And I picked it up, and that was it. I was done. Then I started reading the books and started realizing that, like everyone that first finds an arrowhead, you want to know, what tribe is it? And it's actually, it predates all the tribes. And when you start studying it, researching it, I got more and more interested, and it just, I don't know. I was like a collector on steroids. I kind of started dealing in artifacts in the mid-2000s, 2005 or 6. And then in 2006 or 7, I decided to start doing artifact auctions. I made a lot of connections around the country with collectors. Once I started doing the auctions, I was going to do 2 or 3 a year. And I'd have it in Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, down in Kentucky. And it just got busier and busier. I had written some books on artifacts and our price guides and evaluations, so a lot of people kind of seen my name before. So it brought in more people than I expected. And within a couple of years, we're doing like 1 or 2 auctions a month. And then the internet was really taking off, and online auctions were starting. It kind of grew. We're doing it out of the basement of the house, setting up the auctions. The upstairs living room and spare bedrooms are where we would do the photography. It was interesting. We did that for a while. And then we moved into the old Boy Scout building by King Pump out there, and we turned that into the Premier Auction Center. Premier Auctions is a group of collectors and investors, some local, some out, that we all kind of pulled our money together and said, hey, let's try and make this a little more big time. And that was 8 years ago. We deal in artifacts from coast to coast. So it was started out as this little Ohio hobby. Now about 30 or 40% of our auction business is artifacts from the Columbia River, Great Basin, Nevada, Utah, Oregon, Washington. We do a lot of business out there. We bring the artifacts back here to Ashland. We auction them, and then we ship them all over the country and world sometimes.
It's been really awesome to see like where we started and where we are now. Like if you would have told me 10 years ago, oh, we'll have a 11,000 square foot facility as I was sitting on his living room floor boxing relics, I probably would have laughed. Like it would have been a neat dream, but I mean, not that I doubted us, but it's just amazing to see where we started and where we are now.
We are the largest in the United States for prehistoric flint, stone, and bone, volume-wise. We're moving literally thousands of artifacts a month through here. So only about 5% of the arrowheads we find were ever used on a bow and arrow, because there's about 13,000 years before it even was invented. So they were making flint knives, they were making atlatl dart points, which are spear thrower points, and they all just lumped that into the term arrowhead. It's like calling every facial tissue Kleenex. It's the name that stuck. We say arrowheads because that's what you typically find in the field is going to be a flint arrowhead. But there's hundreds of other items that they used every day. Pestles for grinding their meal, axes and celts, and adzes for chopping wood. It just goes on and on. Plus their ornamentation, their jewelry, they made pottery. All of those are out there, and depending on where you're hunting or where someone's collecting from, they will build up an accumulation of thousands of pieces, and that's been going on for, like I said, a very long time. So in the last 60 days, we literally put together what we're calling our Annex Collectible Sale, which is 450 lots of antique flintlock and percussion cap guns and mounts and all that fun, and a lot of artifacts. So that's kind of, it's opened up, and that's fun for us because now we have something that I think Ashlanders are going to be interested in. Now, when we say Premier Auctions Group, they go, oh yeah, they had those really cool guns, and they had that elk mount, from Montana, but we do want to stick with the collectibles stuff. It's kind of funny because people ask us, as we've gotten bigger and grown to this point, people are like, why are you in Ashland and not in New York or LA or Santa Fe or the big hubs? And I said, we're from Ashland. And when you this is where we're from. I would rather bring people here than for me to go somewhere else where I'm a stranger.
It's awesome. It's a good feeling to know that like our small town really pulls together and has such a variety of things to offer people, from Like when we have clients come in town, it's like, oh wait, let us show you our downtown. Let us take you to our local businesses that people are like, wait, those are here?
You look at it now, it's an amazing place to be. I love bringing people in, and I have so many people that will come into town and there's what's to do in Ashland. And I said, oh, come on in, we'll show you. So